What's up, fellas? This is UFC. What had happened was. And what I'm going to talk to you about in these segments is just quickly go over the card, talk about the bets that hit and the bets that didn't. So, yeah. The first fight I was really looking forward to. I had Nyamjargal to Mendimbrel as an underdog, and I really wish that fight would have came to fruition because I believe I would have cashed there. But it fell off, so that was disappointing. And then we opened up the card with Quinlan Salkild. I put the prop out for him to get the KO over Ansel Jabli, but I didn't know it'd come that quick. I do think it was a little early, but he definitely dropped him, and it probably would have been a wrap. I want to see Ansel Jabli come back. I really would like to see him get another fight in the UFC. So, props to both of those fighters. And we got the prop, and that was my lock of the card. And a lot of people are like, well, why are you going to have a lock that's, minus 650 or something? I had him locked in at like minus 400 or something like before it was out of control. So that's why I did that. And, I mean, a lock is something that you want to put money on that you're sure is going to hit. And so that's why I gave that to you. And he looked good out there. Then we had the first L of the night, Kevin Jessett. I was so sure, so confident Kevin Jessett was going to beat Jonathan Mikhailov. And while I'm watching the fight, I'm literally watching the guy getting beat, making no adjustments, no fight IQ, didn't try to take the fight down. You don't have to be a wrestler to take the fight down. We'll get into that. There were opportunities. He could have done something different. But you're just going back to the well doing the same thing and it's not working for you. That is quite the IQ check for Kevin Jessett, and I don't think we'll be following him with our money much. Probably not again. I'm pretty disappointed with that. But Mikhailov looked great, and I'd like to see him back and soon, and I'm a fan. So, that was one of my most confident picks. Fell through. Then we had Cody Steele. Same thing. I was very confident in Cody Steele. I thought Cody Steele was gonna steal the show, what happened is exactly what I thought was gonna happen. But I thought Cody Steele would put more wrestling, strike the way he did, and that I didn't think he'd be the better striker, but I thought he would be the more powerful striker, and he could land one of those shots. But just like the previous fight with Jessett, didn't even really attempt to change the game plan when it wasn't working. Looked like he was fighting emotional and really headhunting and underestimated his opponent. I will look further into him in the future. I still think he's a great guy, a great fighter, but we need to see a more diverse skill set when you're out there. Rong Zhu, like him, always been a fan. Such a young dude with so much experience. So glad that we still get to see him in the UFC. And, they both have made two big fans out of me. And so those were our parlay busters, unfortunately. So we did not hit the parlays this week. But we did get our lock, and we did get our underdog, which is our live dog that we put out. We are now 3-1. We missed the very first one. That was Medic. They deleted my TikTok, so you guys, you can follow all of this that I'm talking to you about on YouTube. It's all there. And before that, we had MVP. And then before that, we had Aylin Perez. So the locks the underdog locks, which is what I like to say our specialty is, have come through so far this year. Weili Zhang, I said in my breakdown video that it was a close fight, but at the end of the day, I thought she would make it look easy. And that's exactly what she did. Super impressed, man. I thought she would win. And I also put out the decision prop that was like plus 25. No, plus 275. So I hope y'all hit that as well. Who else is on here? Crute and Bellato was a draw. And so I consider that a win. I was actually pretty tentative on my Bellato pick. I almost picked Crute. And now I can see why. Like to see Crute come back. He looked good in the fight, but he faded it towards the end. Another guy that faded towards the end, Jack Jenkins. Jack Jenkins, I thought about picking him too. Glad that I didn't. Just a little outmatched, but he seemed to fade in the fight some. So, I'm glad that Santos got it done. My main reason for picking Santos was the Lerone Murphy fight. because Jack Jenkins wouldn't survive with Lerone Murphy, in my opinion, and that was kind of the thing that kind of edged me towards Santos, and that was a hell of a fight. Nolan beat Slava Claus. I picked Nolan very early on. Was my first dog bet. I thought that his striking would be able to contend. His range would be awesome. And one thing that I didn't see a lot of people talking about, Nolan can grapple. And I thought he would use that. And I thought that would be the one reason that would make him stand out more to me. That and the fact that I think Slava Claus is a little bit chinny these days. But it was one of my favorite fights on the card. There were some slow moments. And there were moments where Slava Claus was on top, hammering him, and he couldn't get up. That I didn't like to see, but I think Nolan was a great pick, so we got that as well. And then I flipped. I'll be honest with y'all, I did flip to Tafa. I thought Tafa would get a first round KO. I just underestimated these new guys coming off the Contender Series. Well, actually, I always do, and typically, if they're coming from the Contender Series and you fade them, it has been profitable for me, and I should have. So I followed that advice, but man, he's big, dude. I mean, I knew he was big, but he's big, and yeah, he might be a problem. So I will admit I dropped the ball on that one. I led y'all astray. I do not regret any of the other bets I made on this card. All of them hit. The Juicette and the Steel pick, I thought those were solid plays, but you can't test the IQ, right? And I think that they need to get that in check. And we'll see improvements from them. I don't regret those picks. Those fights went kind of how I went, but I thought they'd be able to make the adjustments. So yeah, our parlays that we put out did not hit, but I will tell you guys, I put out numerous bets, and what I try to do is just share I try to share two parlays with you that are two pieces with an option to play the dog. I had Nolan as a dog option, he cashed. I had Zhang as a dog option. She cashed. I had DDP in one, and I had Steele in the other. Steele failed. And then I had Sal killed in one with who else was it? Gisette and Zhang. So, it's just how you put them together. The order it didn't come out, But I did win. I am up, and I will start to put more bets out, but I can only put so much out, and maybe I'll do like a Discord or a Patreon, or just, I don't know, put more out towards the week so you guys can see some of the bets that I am hitting, because I did hit multiple bets. I had a 4-legger hit, had a 5-legger hit, because I hedged the Tafa Texera bet, because if I'm going to be flopping and flipping, it tells me, man, maybe you should hedge this if you're going to be putting these guys in multiple parlays. And so we did come out on that. And then we had the main event. I thought the first fight was more exciting, but I won't shit on this one. It was still a good fight, but Sean Strickland just did Sean Strickland things and never looked to be aggressive, even when he's down in the scorecards. It looked exactly how I thought it was going to look. The only thing is I thought DDP might actually do a little more wrestling like he did the first time and maybe find a late submission. But I had the over, that cashed. I also had the under in the Tafa Texera fight, and that cashed as well. So overall, it was an okay night. The parlays missed, but the lock hit, the underdog lock hit. All the underdogs I gave out, with the exception of Tafa, you know what I mean? So it was pretty good night. Not as good as the perfect card we had last week, but man, how do you top that, right? Overall, I think this card was fun. I enjoyed it. Who am I missing? Oh, Prado. Jake Matthews was always going to win that fight. I think Prado was a horrible bet. I think Prado needs to go down a weight class. He looks too small out there. Jake Matthews is inconsistent, but when he shows up, he looks great. Yeah, I guess that's it, man. I enjoyed the fights. I hope you guys did too. Remember to like the video, share the video, go follow me on YouTube, and that's where you'll see even more videos that I post. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook especially, and all that stuff. Ride with me this year, and let's get paid, okay? I appreciate y'all, appreciate the love, appreciate the hate, appreciate the discourse, and until I see you next time, toodles.